live.
We're
gonna vamp until
live.
people come.
No.
We love vamping until people come.
That's right. Yeah, we must dance until people show up. No. Here's the thing. I have so much fun when the three of you come and hang out.
Aww.
I really do. I mean, I really do. I really enjoy it. For those of you who will be watching later on demand, and those of you who will be joining us shortly, my name is Disembodied Troy Hewitt, and I work for Green Ronin as I'm like the community nerd, I guess. And we have today special guests from Dice Drop. They are in order: Allie at the top. We have Zoe there on the left, and Kyle on the right. And
Nope,
you
I always do that.
yeah, I know, right? It's backwards, right?
I hate it.
And today we're doing a Q&A to talk about. So here's what I love about what we've done here. This mess that we have made together. Allie, was it you that contacted me, or did I contact you to do a world building stream?
It was a weird thing. So you were on stream with somebody else, and you were just like, I really want to do something in world building. I said, Troy, you want to try and do something with us? And you said, Allie, text me, and then I texted you.
Yeah,
I was just like, so world building?
Yeah, exactly. And so, the idea was, I wanted to. It's not often that you get to kind of hang out and watch people build the space that they're going to be playing in, right? And there's some special stuff to that. What I wasn't prepared for was how cool you would be in engaging with the community and taking their ideas, and you really incorporated that, them into that. And then we did the second stream was just sort of part 2 of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you worked with the community to create the world that you were going to be playing in, and then you just debuted your very first the prologue, right?
Yeah, the prologue.
Yes.
And that was yesterday. Now I've got to be honest. I listened to about I'm almost an hour in, and you three are a hoot. Like, you are so much fun. There's a couple times where I literally like kind of laughed out loud, just because of the nature of your engagements. I thought everybody, I loved the accent work. I thought was just top shelf. I thought it was.
Wow.
You only do so much.
No, it was fantastic. I loved it. And I'm wondering, in your experience as you're kind of putting these things together, have you, did the way that you create the world influence what how you're playing? Did it change things? Did it make it different in any way?
I'm gonna say yes. Definitely developing it here was a good baseline to like kind of work around and grab things off of.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped these two develop the characters that they wanted to play, like, a lot better than what it would have been if we just sort of jumped into it with basically a half-baked world. I mean, the world's like not fully done yet, but it's like good enough where we can start rolling things out and it be like succinct and make sense and have them like play around in it.
It makes it more important to really get to know your character when you're doing a live stream, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me, you two, about your character development and what was the process that you kind of went through. One of the things that I keep talking about to the community and generally people who are running live streams is, how do you get into character? Because you really do have to kind of get into it, and so I'm just curious to kind of get a little sense of your process and how you do that.
Well, first I have to take Remy Monet Lancaster and shove her aside.
Yeah, she came out in the recording.
Today in full force.
Maybe people might not know exactly who you're talking about, but
that was the character. That was my main character in our previous campaign.
And how long were you doing that campaign for?
We did that
4
for
years.
what, like 4 years?
It was like 4 years. Yeah.
Can you believe that? So yeah, that's a character you've really baked into your psyche. That's somebody
Yeah.
So I get it.
The way that it worked with Serena, aka Ina, aka the world's happiest and dumbest golden retriever girl, when Allie first said like, oh, we're gonna be doing the fantasy age, dragon age stuff, like start thinking about your characters. You're gonna be gods that fall to earth and you have to find your way. Like you have to like build yourself back up from a level 20 character from like a level 20 to a 1 back up to 20, essentially is what it was like said to us. And so the weirdest thing was that night, I don't dream often, and when I do, it's like very vivid. And that night all I got was just a poof, like a flash, and I saw Ina, and I was like, but I didn't see Ina at like where she is now. I saw Ina like 3/4 of the way through the campaign, and I was like, ooh, I like this one.
I get
Karlach
vibes.
It was. That's like as soon as I think this was also around the time when Allie was like, okay, I really need you to start like honing in on the characters more, is when I also started playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. And I think I've said in like our recordings, I'm like, I based her loosely off of Karlach because I love the character.
Yeah.
She's a vibe. She's a mood. And I think I also kind of based her off of Iron Bull, just a tad. Just a tad.
Just a smidge. How about you, Kyle?
I'm very simple when it comes to characters. Like I do visual before I build literally anything else. Like if I'm playing Baldur's Gate, for example, I make sure my character looks how I want them to look before I even choose a class.
Sure.
So what I did was I ended up using Baldur's Gate to create the visual for Murphy. And then, Karlach is definitely a queen. Also, hi, Ina and Alec. Welcome.
I was going to say, hey, what a great name, Alec Azam. I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
But so I used Baldur's Gate to create what I think Murphy would look like. And from the visual is where I came up with like the voice, basically. Because Murphy very much looked like a fantasy farmer. So I wanted to just stick with that vibe and then go with like, howdy y'all, my name's Murphy.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, and I think that's some good advice, is to kind of find that. Don't do it too much. Too much acting, you're going to lose the thread. You're going to be thinking about a bunch of different things, and but yeah, that's so for the both of you, when you think about giving people advice on how to role play and not overdo it, or not like the thing that I love about the three of you is that you also have a very good energy. Like, it's really fun. It's a very, you really appreciate each other. You also make space for people to kind of be funny and, and have some fun in that. It's I think that I'm imagining if I watched a stream where everybody was just dour and serious and there was no joy, that would just be a real bummer. So here's a question I have for you, Allie. Thinking about how long you've done this. So now you've got, what did you say it was, 4 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess mine would be like 3 years in actual like gaming, like game goddessing, because the first year was run by somebody else, and then
that's right. Well, we'll count that year anyway.
It's the fifth year of the podcast, but
Actually, it will be April 17th will be our 4th year, because we came out in 2020.
Wow.
But we've been together since 2019.
I mean, that's really something. I mean, there's not, when you look at life in general, there's not really that thing. Tabletop affords you that opportunity, but there really isn't that long-term, like, I'm going to see these people every day at a time, or, on this day of the week. And how often do you get together for these things?
Out here with the timestamps. Yeah.
I have a weird memory for stupid stuff.
I love it.
I'm glad you do the same stuff, by the way.
I'm sorry, what was the question? They totally spoke over me in my ADHD.
Sorry, I was trying to respond to chat.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was thinking, I wonder.
Ever just watch that ADHD, just
yeah, exactly. And I was totally thinking of something else, and I was like, "What question did I ask?" No,
what did you ask?
When do you get to, how often do you get together to do this?
Oh, it's like every other week. I try to not overwhelm, because so the first time we tried doing this, we were overwhelmed with doing it like once every week, and we were never caught
on
up.
a Tuesday at 7
Yeah,
p.m.
it was
At
on a
7
weekday.
p.m.
All of us had work.
Yeah,
So-
so
No worries, Alec. Yeah.
yeah, so it wasn't great. It wasn't great timing, and then like we fixed the schedule after the other GM left, and I said, okay, so this is what we're going to do. I am going to work us. I think I worked us hard within the first like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, where I was just
It
like,
was
we're
in the
going to
first-
record. I was like, we're gonna record once every week. I think it was maybe a full month, and I said, and then
It
after
was.
that, it's gonna be every other week because
I
we
see,
can't
yeah.
do this anymore.
Like we built it so that we could have like a backlog in case like one of us was sick or something comes up.
Yeah, a little
And
cushion.
we were like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like we can like it's fine.
Yeah.
We're just here for a fun time.
Speaking of sick, we did the prologue. These two both got COVID right after.
Well, no. So what happened was we did the prologue. I got RSV, so we were out for a week because I had a respiratory virus that wasn't
And then-
COVID. And then a week later, we were like, a week later, Zoe got COVID, and we had to cancel it because of that. Then a week later, I got COVID, and I was out for 2 weeks.
First we thought I had laryngitis because I had no voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
other time
remember
we
that.
could not podcast.
Like,
Like,
I
I just
remember.
coughed so hard I scratched my vocal cords.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That
And they were
sounds like a
like,
nightmare.
well, you have COVID, ma'am. And I was like,
Ma'am.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little country
so,
doctor. Yeah.
yeah, I just straight up went to all right, well, we have the prologue done. I'm gonna get this like executed, edited, sent out. So this is my way of telling both of y'all the next 2 weeks we might be doing 2 in a row. I love you. Mwah.
Nice.
This whole
Honestly,
live
that's fair.
stream, yeah, this whole live stream was designed to get you here so we can tell you that, yeah, no, that's funny.
I
let's
love
see.
you.
Are any of you, I'm just looking at Tempo's question here. Are you familiar with the Sword World?
No.
Yeah, I'm
No.
I
not.
was reading
yeah.
that too,
I was
and
reading
Yeah,
that
no worries,
too,
yeah.
and it sounded really fun.
Yeah, no
it
worries. No
sounds
worries.
interesting for sure.
Yep. So,
We're
okay,
already
so.
mixing 2 different game books at this point, so it's just like anytime I hear any explanation of, hey, maybe you should do Blue Rose, maybe you should also add Modern Age, I'm just like, shh.
Yeah, right.
Fine.
For some reason on our weekly, you know, on Thursday, I'm always like, so hey, is it what do I say? I usually throw Modern Age in there, like try to blend it with another.
Well, it's a
you know.
modern fantasy, so it's not
Mhm.
like a weird
I think
thing
that's
to
why
do
I
with
keep.
modern fantasy.
Yeah. But well, you know, I suppose that's good to sort of step into. So we've talked about how you did the world building with the community. We talked about how often you get together and some of the role play elements that you bring to your character. When it comes to sort of the blend of the two, Dragon Age and what would you say, Modern Age? No, and Fantasy Age. When you blend those together, what elements of the gameplay are you pulling out? Like, how is that working?
So Zoe actually gets all of her moves and all of her like actual character developments from the Dragon Age book that you
Yeah.
sent us. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Kyle mainly looks through Fantasy Age, and I haven't had the time to play the main NPC enough yet. Like today was the actual like first day of me like playing her, and even then it was a little bit awkward. I'm not in her skin yet, so it's like a little bit weird. So I'm planning on having her be a mix, so like she's a city elf but she has wild folk in her for like Fantasy Age, so that's like the two.
Right.
So she has, what I say is she has the features of an elf but has bunny ears that just like hang down like pigtails, and
Why
so
not?
it
Sure.
becomes like a nice little fun thing. Yeah, but it yeah.
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 That works for me, and I'm wondering too, so when it comes to making that blend, is it really sort of an opportunity for you to pick and choose elements that you really like about it? Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, because Zoe is an absolute maniac for Dragon Age, as we know.
Yes, as we know,
so
right.
she will dive into that thing.
I know.
But if you're like an hour in, Troy, to the prologue, you've probably like heard. At this point, have you? No, you. I think it's an hour. 45.
I don't think we've gotten to that scene yet where I start pulling crap from the book, and I'm like, hold on a second.
No, so I'm at. Let me double check real quick. Look on my YouTube. I'm at 50:28.
Okay, so no, you're not near.
Not quite. You're
just listening to them be chaotic.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is that when I hear you're laughing, that's when I'll be doing something and then I'll go, oh, what are they doing? And I'll listen to a little bit, but it's normally when you're kind of yucking it up, and so I probably need to do another listen just to really get where you're at in the story.
That's fine.
It's great. I mean, it is. Well, and just for folks who are curious, you have. What is the broadcast schedule like? Do you put your videos on demand up in YouTube and on? Where do you? Is it just on YouTube, or how do you distribute?
It's everywhere.
So it's on Spotify. It's on Apple. Not Apple Music. Apple Music. It's on YouTube Music now because it is still going to Google Podcasts. However, Google Podcasts is getting like the
next on April 2nd.
Yeah, so I moved everything over to YouTube Music, I think literally last week.
Wait, I'm sorry, are they getting rid of their podcast stuff?
So what they're doing is that Google itself decided that they weren't making enough, like there wasn't enough people using Google Podcasts, and since they've been using a lot of YouTube Music, they were like, you know what, we're just going to transfer everything that is podcast based from Google Podcasts over onto YouTube Music, and so they're getting rid of
Hey, real quick, hold on 1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, however, good for us because I was able to put our RSS feed into YouTube, and now it's just popping out videos that way, so I don't have to worry about it.
I like that. I like that service. It's really kind of nice. Hey, Tempo, you know what? You say whatever you wish, whatever comes to mind, as non sequitur as it may be. This is all kinds of open conversation, and they appreciate the recommendation.
Plus, this is going to give us some fun stuff to do for whenever we are like, okay, we need a break from the main campaign. Let's do a quick mini campaign and something, and one of us take the DMC.
Well, also, I think of the Q&A as like, you can ask us about the podcast, or you can ask us about literally anything.
No, absolutely, yeah, and that's what I love about this crew and just about what we do. We our values are aligned. We want people to come and hang out and ask whatever questions on that. It's like a conversation, and we go where it takes us. But Tempo also says your podcast absolutely rocks. So
I saw that and I immediately blushed. See, the thing is, I'm just like, yay, listen to our podcast. And the moment somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I listen to your podcast, it's good, I'm just like, what are you doing? Go away.
Alec, I'm not allowed to respond to this comment because I will be silenced. I'm not allowed to answer this comment.
Me and Zoe lean forward in our chairs because we have thoughts on that question.
Wait a minute. Isn't it? Hold on. A hot dog is a taco.
Yes! Thank you!
Nope.
It's a taco.
Nope.
It's a taco. Yeah.
A hot dog is more like a hoagie or a sub.
No! We've heard from God himself that it's a
taco. The disembodied hath spoken. It is a sandwich, Alec, and I will die on this hill. Yeah.
No, I'll die on that hill with you.
I didn't realize we were going to go controversial on this episode.
No, but here's the thing. Kyle was just like, oh yeah, I have to post on the Twitter for Dice Drop. I'm going to make some controversial food takes. Allie, are you okay with that? And that was the entire Twitter for like a month, and I was just like, you know what? There's engagement. And I just
No, I think we went into like, what were they called? Like the rooms in Twitter for the longest time, and we would have these giant arguments. Taco, what about I don't even know.
Takoyaki?
I don't know. I've never had takoyaki.
Is takoyaki when you put teriyaki in your taco?
I have no idea. Please
that sounds delicious.
I was going to say, that sounds busted.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I think they're little squid balls. I think they're little squid balls that are on a stick. Am I
Yeah,
right?
so
Oh.
takoyaki is a ball-shaped Japanese snack made
I was the
of a
president
wheat
of my
flour
anime
based
club.
batter.
Fried
Fried
noodles, squid
balls.
octopus.
Wheat flour
I've
based
had
batter.
them. Yummy.
I think I have because I've tried octopus before.
I don't like octopus.
I don't remember.
I don't like
It was
octopus either.
takoyaki.
But
Okay,
I
so
do
when you,
like anime, so I knew that.
when you're about to when it's a recording time for you, what's your food? What do you eat? Do you prepare, like, I mean, how long does a recording take? Is it, talk to
It
me about
normally
it.
takes 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. Zoe just had a burrito.
I had
While
a
we were
Chipotle
recording.
burrito today. Usually all I have is if I'm like super hungry, I have like a little snack container and I'll eat like little Reese cups, but I mostly just drink water and that's
You
it.
eat a what?
Like a Reese cup.
What's a Reese cup? I'm. What
Why
is
are
it?
you yanking my chain?
It's the
No.
way you're pronouncing it.
Reese
You said
It's-
Reese.
It's not Reese's.
Reese cup.
It's Reese's Pieces or
No,
Reese.
it's a Reese cup.
They don't call it Reese's Pieces.
I call it Reese's Pieces.
I normally, to answer your question, I normally have a snack, but like today, for example, shout out to Costco, by the way, because they have like a lemon blueberry loaf that is, oh my god,
A
it's so good.
loaf. I love it.
I think
love a good
Alex,
loaf.
to answer your I'm sorry, I just saw Alex's question.
I know you
when I
you
was
guys are
going-
cracking me up.
When I was
We can't
going
stay on one
through-
thread.
When I was going through the Dragon Age, like the history of Dragon Age with Allie, it's not Reese's,
It's
Zoe's.
not
Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
Reese's. It's Zoe's.
Yeah,
And I was like
Zoe's Pieces.
explaining to Allie about the whole like history of Dragon Age and all this other stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're gonna be a city elf?" And she's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, just letting you know if we're gonna like follow the books or if we're gonna like just make our whole thing like city elves have it rough." And she's like, "Why?" And I go, "Racism."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna just get rid of that." So essentially we took a lot of the racism out of it, a lot of the racist themes out of it. And I
We don't need
think
that.
what it was is that Allie is also allowing us to, if we wanted to, like in Dragon Age, you can't really cross class.
Right,
It's
right,
Like you're
yeah.
either a fighter, you're a rogue, or you're a mage. And if you're a mage, you can't be a fighter. And if you're a fighter, you can't be a mage. I think Allie's gonna allow it.
Alex says, "Yeah, no biological determinism in my dice drop."
I'm very much sure my players want to do something. Fine. Is it going to break the
Yeah.
game? We'll find out in game, and then I'll deal with the consequences of my own actions. And
That
that's
was
I
how
like-
think we also don't have the concept of the blight in it from Dragon Age.
Right? Yeah.
Because again, like we're using it to help with our character building and stuff like that, but also using like certain elements of it, which I think is fun. But it's not like this is Thetis. This is not like Thetis 1,000 years in the future. This is
Yeah,
our
no,
own
I
world.
told Zoe that my character was named Solus, and she was just like, Solus
I-
sucks in Dragon Age. And I was just
I
like,
was
okay,
like,
but
you
mine's a bunny girl, and she's living her
like
best
you're gonna
life.
get so much crap. People are gonna be like, "Soulless return."
And I'm gonna be like, and she's a bunny girl, and, and they're gonna be very upset.
So I'm curious. We talked a little bit about the food, and
Yeah, of course.
of course, right? But talk to me about any other kind of prep that you do for the
None.
recording day. I mean, does it just show up and be your charming self?
It's absolutely none.
basically show up.
Kyle usually rolls 500 d20s.
Yeah. So
Right.
on roll 20, you have the option to roll as many dice as you want. You can even do it to the point where you crash the entire system and you have to reload the website.
Fine.
Because
Yeah.
I've
we've
done
done
that before. It's great.
Because we've done that.
But I have this like ritual because I can't find my actual dice because we moved in December and I have no idea where it went. But because I can't find my actual dice, I'm using roll 20. Because I'm using roll 20, I'm basically like I need to roll 500 d6 just to like it's like a system cleanse in my opinion. It's like a so that way next time I roll, or like my future rolls are, you know, starting off from base.
Alex got a question here that that I'm curious about as well. Talk to me about like the editing process, the tools you use, and how involved is everyone in that? Like, do you just edit it and then put it out there, and they're like, "Yay, that sounds great," or
I love how these two are just staring blankly. I'm the one that edits.
Yeah, we have no involvement in the editing whatsoever. Since I'm like, you know, I have a ton of free time. I don't have a ton of money to do it, but at some point I want to learn how to make music so that I can make the music for the podcast.
Oh, I gotcha.
So,
nice. But yeah, on the editing.
So editing, I use Adobe.
Audition. No, it's
no, it's Audition. It's Adobe Audition.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I had to flip through all of them in my brain.
Me too. There's two that start with
Adobe
A, and
owns
I
my
always
soul.
Same. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Adobe Audition. We use Riverside to record. We used to use another platform, but they kept like messing up a lot of our recordings. So I just was like, nope, we're not doing it anymore, and we moved to a different one.
Yeah, so the service you were using, you said, was what again? It was Riverside?
Zencaster.
We use
Zencaster.
Riverside.
We use Riverside now. Zencaster is what we used before.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, currently we're using Riverside. We love Riverside. Riverside.
Yeah, it seems kind of. You know, we have another podcast. It's the Masks and Mayhem.
I love Masks and Mayhem.
I do too.
They're very good friends with me, not the other two, but with me.
Well,
yeah, Allie's the extrovert of the group. She's the one who goes out and talks to other people on Twitter.
It's the Leo. The other two are Geminis. It's the Leo and me.
Listen, if I'm forced into a situation I have to talk with people, I'll do it.
Well, so how long does it take you? Do you record? You said you record for like about 2 hours, and then do you edit it? You know, how much do you lose in an edit?
It depends on how much these two goof off. I'm talking. There'll be some times where I'm just like, you know what? These are really funny tangents. I will keep these in because they are funny. And other times I'm just like, I asked them to roll a d20 and it's been 20 minutes and we're talking about quesadilla. And that's
yeah.
That's so good.
So it really depends. That actually the prologue, which is I believe an hour and 57 minutes, when I put it in, it was 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that shows you how much they were goofing off.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on the episode, really. It takes around 3 hours minimum for me to edit one episode.
Oh, now say that again. Did you say 30 minutes?
No, 3 hours.
3 hours. What did I was like, what? I'm trying to turn your nameplates on, and I'm like, what did you say? I was like, that'd be really quick. Okay, so that checks out though. You know, there are definitely times in podcasts past where, you know, if I was editing them, sometimes it takes even longer because you're trying to save a moment that you really want to save it, but you know. Okay, yeah. And so we talked about the tools. Anything else about that editing process that, you know, you want to share with folks?
At the beginning, before it was me taking over all of the editing, the music was really bad and the edit was really bad, but you're welcome because I took it over and now the music isn't really bad and the edit isn't really bad. Also, we're getting a custom theme song soon.
Ooh,
hopefully
nice.
It comes soon before the first episode. Who knows? Here we are.
I'll just get COVID again and then we can, you know, wait until it comes out.
All right,
Yeah.
Sweet, amazing.
I love that. Okay, so who did you go to get your custom?
Pop Sky. Yeah, they are on Twitter. I can send you their thing and you could put it in the thing because you won't make me an ad or a mod.
I need to do that. I need to do that. Yeah. And the thing I think I need to do it with your email address. So what we'll do when we step out, when we're done with this, we'll jump on and I'll make sure to add you. I meant to do that sooner.
No, it's fine. It's Pop Sky with 2 Y's on Twitter. They do a lot of like synthwavy, like almost sounds like old video gamey sort of music. And I really liked it. And I said, ooh, can you do something like fantasy, but like also what you would find in like a club? And he went, what? And I went, don't ask questions. And he
make the beats.
I sent him money and I said, make it. And he said, okay.
Nice. I'm going to share that. Also, Tempo asks a really good question. I call him Tempo. And that is, did you, where's that question at? Did you ever need to deal with murder hobos, and were they disruptive for your campaigns?
No, because the moment somebody became destructive, I said, leave.
You said, get out.
Yeah, no, I don't like it when people take over and become gross. Like, it's fine if you're like doing it as a bit and it's like funny, but like if you keep doing it consecutively, I would act like I've DM'd at like actual like conventions, and there was this kid who was acting like a murder hobo in one of my campaigns, and I let the game go on, but he tried it coming into another one of my campaigns, like not really like my one shot while I was doing a game, and I said, no, we don't need you, go. Like, I will act, I don't care how old the person is. They could be a 12-year-old, they could be a 30-year-old. I will still say, we don't need your type of playing here, you can go. And I have no problem setting that boundary.
I think that it can be fun if that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're doing that kind of a hog wild deal. But it's other than that, it's just ruining fun for everybody.
Yeah. I play a 7C game with a couple of my friends, and I don't want to say we're murder hobos. I want to say we're murder hobo adjacent. But again, it's the same deal with Allie as it is with my DM over there. She's very much like, listen, she's like, you can't in this game, you can't just go out and start killing people because you want to. This is a very much like, they have to be a villain. And I never told you if this person is a villain or not. You haven't seen them act like a villain. You can't kill them because they want to kidnap somebody. And I'm just like, but I want to. They just killed someone in front of me. So it's very much, sometimes it's frustrating, but other times it's very much like, yeah, we're not out of our way. Like right now, Ina's like just itching to fight because it's been over 24 hours since she's had her last fight. And she's like, fight. Can I fight? She's like, I just need it.
And then Murphy's there, just like, Ina.
Murphy's like, calm your tail.
No. I'm sitting there with like a spray bottle of water, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah. Solus is like, you guys want to go to a party? And Ina's like, can I punch someone? And I said, okay.
Nice. So, well, here's what I think we didn't do, or I don't think we did. Let's talk about your characters, like who they are, and let's get into it a little bit. And why don't we? So you were so excited. Why don't we talk? Why don't you start?
Okay, so Ina is, like I said before, she is like a golden retriever, but she has golden retriever energy, but she's definitely like spiky ball of death. She is, as of right now, like first episode, she's having a freak out the entire time. Ina's just like, I'm like, where am I? Who are you? And then this one, she's a little bit more laid back. We have realized that Ina is a one-liner kind of a person.
Okay, fun.
We have been slowly figuring this out. where she yeah, it's been 3 days since I have last murder hoboed. Yes, that is Ina, because she went up to the person in the first episode that isn't released yet. She went up to someone and was like, hey, I know you guys have fighting pits, like she didn't want to say up at the Citadel you guys have fighting pits that you guys like to bet on, and then the guy's like, whoa, this is not the vibe. And she was like, she immediately goes, this is hell. She's like, I am in hell now. And I was like, no.
She has a predilection towards this because why?
Because she is the daughter of Alcindor, and Alcindor is the god of war. So she is the absolute opposite of what her dad wants her to be now that she is away from that. And so Ina's slowly starting to come out, and it's not just the soldier personality and mentality that she's been used to. Now she's actually starting to show what kind of colors she has and how stupid she is.
Well, yeah, because the conceit here is that you have lost your god. Your deity powers are gone, and you have been, you're finding yourself having to contend in the world as a mortal, right?
Yes. And she was actually describing to someone today, she's like, yeah, my muscles used to be this big and now they're tiny. And she's freaking out. Yeah, she will go to war on whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not. Yes, she has already made friends.
Bring that up next
She's
episode.
already made friends with the pretzel merchant. So yeah,
delicious.
She is I really like her. I'm excited to see where she goes. I'm excited to hear everybody's theories on her and some of the secrets that she still has. Because,
interesting. Okay, so now I don't want to decode this too much, but I'm very curious as to how are you doling out sort of the reactions and engagements? Like, how are you? When you're thinking about this, because clearly some of this stuff is extemporaneous, right? You're getting sort of the randomness of your reactions to roles and that kind of stuff. How are you keeping your secrets, and how do you plan on sort of rolling them out?
So today, Solist asked Ina a question, and I was like, let's roll to see how Ina would actually say it. Cause I'm very much the kind of the person, even in our previous campaign, I was like, this is what I want to do. But before I say it or before I do it, I need to roll to see how it works.
Right.
Because I'm very much like, I've always hated it when people say like this really amazing speech and they're like, wow, like this awesome speech, it's totally cool, you roll the dice and then it's like a 2, and then it's like, well, I take all that back and it sounds like garbage. So I am very much like, okay, Allie, can I see if I can do this kind of a thing? And she's like, yeah. And then I roll the dice and then I act it out. And so I rolled a 10, and Ina's been rolling pretty darn good, but of course on a hide your emotions check and try to lie, Ina immediately is like, I have no idea what you're talking about, fam. I don't know.
Then Murphy's just sitting there like,
it was pretty interesting to say the least. But Ina currently has like a mini side quest for herself. Because I don't know, can I say that, because even though the prologue just came out yesterday, would it be too much of a spoiler to say why they were thrown out, Allie? Is that something you're allowed to say? It'd be too much of a spoiler, I can't say it?
You can't
I even agree with that. You gotta listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen to it. But she has a little mini mission for herself, and that is a secret I will not tell until.
Another reason I'm saying no is because Ina, as your character, simply also just does not know.
No, but
my character knows.
Yeah,
my character knows why my character was thrown out.
Yeah. Well, and so rather than get into that, I do want to know a little bit about your character. Like, so tell me, what you're doing. Yeah.
I don't know if there's much to explain about Murphy other than Murphy's just a very go with the flow, chill person
with a potty mouth.
Basically, well, that's just all my characters and me as a person. So.
I see. I like that.
But I really hold back for the stream, by the way.
Yeah.
You gave us one F-bomb that we could use, and I'm like, I'm never using this.
I forgot about the F-bomb budget.
Yeah.
Luckily, we
Yeah.
haven't used it in the first 20 minutes.
Which I
No.
think is what we did last time when we were talking about it.
I think
misspent
so,
it
Kyle,
like-
that was our one.
No, yeah, I think I used I don't know, the curse word for butt or something, and then I was like, oh,
The
God.
curse word for butt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other word for donkey that I'm not going to say because I don't want to use it.
Oh, ASS.
Yeah,
I like how we're cursing like middle school kids.
yeah, like,
We did it. We did
It's
it.
great.
Yay.
just don't tell the teacher.
Okay, well, so we get to know your character, digging around, doing doing a search for something, and then I heard some swearing, and also I have to say, Allie has a very soothing kind of countenance about the conversation you were having is very very warm and loving. I really appreciated that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was great.
I got the feeling of Absalom out perfectly then.
It was
Yay.
good. Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great. So you too were a god that was kicked out, or something happened.
Basically, yeah. So Murphy's backstory is, I guess I can talk about like Murphy's age and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do that. That's
We
Yeah.
talked about how Robanthus has their children. So
yeah, that
Yeah.
was a part of the world building stream. If you haven't watched the
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
building streams, go
Yeah.
back watch your world building streams, and then come
Yeah,
back here
but-
and then watch it 3 more times. Thank you.
That's right. Yeah. And then share it with a
Yeah.
friend, and then get everyone together
And then
on
like and
separate
then
machines.
comment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But to
Make
give you
50
like
accounts.
a little bit of backstory on Murphy. Murphy is like, I think in God years, like 230 or something like that.
So what is a god year?
It's the same
It's
as like a
God
human
years,
year.
but opposite.
Yes, it's the same as a human year, but like the way that it was explained to us from Allie was, they're basically like can live forever, but they get to choose how they look. So like Murphy is over 200 years old, but chooses to look 23.
I see.
Yeah, God years is an amazing concept, honestly.
yeah.
But yeah, so Murphy was, since they're so old compared to other of the demigods, Murphy like goes around to different domains and will like just travel and learn and figure out what's going on in other domains,
So you're kind of on a walkabout.
basically.
Gotcha.
And Allie, can I say the thing about Robanthus and what he's up to, or is that too
I
much
think
of a
we've
spoiler?
discussed that too previously.
I feel like it's like kind of in some of the world building, but like not a lot. So I'm gonna say keep it hush hush and have people listen to the prologue about that one.
I like that.
Gotta
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Call to
Yeah.
action.
That's most of the reason. Like earlier when I said Murphy is go with the flow, that's literally the reason why Murphy is go with the flow, is because they've been roaming around to different domains. They've been to almost every single domain, and they've like learned about how the domain works. They've learned about humanity from some of the domains. So
I would say, as a character, Murph has probably gone to every domain except Death and Decay, because you need to actually be accepted into Death and Decay before you're allowed to go there.
Murphy's too chill. Can't be deaf.
You're like, can't do that.
Can't do it.
Runs away.
Morton has a very strict entrance list.
Uh-huh.
And then
Like, few
go
people
ahead,
deep.
sir.
No, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's just a few people deep.
Yep.
So, and Allie, you're doing a lot of different characters, but also you are, tell me how you're structuring that whole thing for you.
Ever have ADHD and dyslexia at the same time, as well as being a little bit on the spectrum? Compartmentalize them and hope that you pick the right card.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's me. I made a main NPC for them, kind of like how in the last campaign River ended up being for them, because these two are both Gemini and one is pan and bisexual, which means they cannot make a decision to save their lives. So I have to insert one so it helps as a plot device, and it makes it so I can play a little bit too, but like it's not really me playing. It's more of like, here's my bunny girl. Thank you for letting me create her. And I know there's a lot of people that are just like, well, DMs can't play too. And it's just like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. But what if we half play as a treat?
As a treat.
As a treat. Yeah, but it becomes a very much this is a person, this is like 4 words of their personality. Here's a list of their children. Go. And then I'm just like, okay, whatever voice pops out of my mouth is what I'm stuck with, and that ends up just like really just screwing me over. I'm like, well, we did it.
I love that. Yeah. Now, Temple asked a question that I'm curious about as well. So, you've been playing games together, for live for people to see, or recorded for people to see, and for years and years and years and years. Do you get to do anything else? Like, do you play other games? Do you do other things? Do you like what? Tell me about that.
So I only ever. This is gonna sound so bad, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad for her." Don't. I really only play if a camera's on me or if a microphone is in front of my face, and the only reason for that is because if I do it outside of this, my spoons will be so depleted, and I simply just cannot. So whenever people are like, Allie, do you want to come on to our charity stream? Allie, do you want to do this? Allie, do you want to do that? I'm like, yes, I get to play this week. That's not with these guys. So that's where I'm at when it comes to me playing. It's always just like, oh, so you're only playing when the camera's on? Yes, I am. But I look very cute while doing it.
You do indeed. But I don't think that that's a bad thing at all, honestly. I mean, I think you make room for the things that you have room for and spend what you can spend on, as far as your energy and time and all that good stuff. And it's still playing. Yeah. And that was, and I think I asked that from my perspective as well, is people will say, like, what do you play? And I'm like, well, I got to play some games to test them or, kind of check them out. But I don't, to get into kind of a full-blown campaign takes a lot. And when you do it a lot, you're like, okay, maybe I'll sit this one out and I'll read a book instead, or or just sit and stare into the the distance.
I notice when people do cast me, they want a certain type of person, and that is unhinged, because and I'm just like, you know what? I will bring exactly what you want, and I do it every time.
What?
I think all of us are typecast that way, because the other stream that I'm on, that's on hiatus right now, where we play Cyberpunk, my character is like Oswald and Murphy times 1,000, and he's just a big idiot.
All right.
So
how about you, Zoe? I mean, are you
I play 7C, which is a pirate based game. I've actually been playing in that for 3 years now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in that one. And that is fun in itself because we get to pirate stuff. It's basically not like a campaign that you would think about it in terms of a campaign. The way that our DM does it is that she has us play like mini arcs of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And we have been playing, like, some people have come, some people have gone. Like, it's like, whatever. But there's been 4 consecutive people, not including myself, that have played in this game. And we've become just like a little, like, mini family, like how we have over here at Dice Drop. And that's been fun. I've played in other D&D groups before, and it's just sometimes it's not the right vibe, because the first one that I was ever in, and I told this stuff to Allie and Kyle, and they were like, that is not what a DM should do. Like, why were you in that for 2 years? Because I wanted to play D&D and I was desperate. And then the other one, there was a girl who was playing a druid, and I wasn't playing a druid for the first time in forever. And I love playing a druid. I think they're the best class. Yes, I do play 7C. Did you try Chaosium games like Call of Cthulhu. No, but I do want to.
Quest sounds like fun.
I want to play Call of Cthulhu so much. And I was trying to help this girl because she's like, I have no idea of how to play a druid. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at playing a druid up to like level 12. Like I can help you until you get your footing. And the DM, as I was like trying to help her, like she was like, what spell do you think I should cast? Because we're like in the middle of combat. And I was like trying to help her, and he goes, you're backseat driving and she needs to figure this out for herself, and was so mean. And I was like, I'm not gonna play in this if you're not going to help the person who's struggling. And she's like, how do I know what spell slots I have? How do I know what I can turn into or not? And
so you sense that there's some real fundamental, like,
yes.
you know, yeah.
I think if you're not willing to let your players help each other, it's probably not a good sign.
I don't even know what that. Why would they do? You know, that's just a real. It's not meant to be a obstacle course for the human.
Exactly.
It's meant to be an obstacle course for the character. You know.
And she would always ask questions, and the DM would always be like, "Oh," and I'm just like, "Let her ask the question. It's her first time, guys."
That's rough.
Because it was me, him, and like 2 other people that were like really good players, and the other people, like the 3 other people that were in it, were absolute like newbies.
You know, it's just not a time to start flexing your "I know more than you" nerdery. Yeah. You know, it really ruins the whole thing for everyone. Alex really says just being tossed into the deep end is not fun for anyone, and I agree.
No, but I love playing tabletops. I wanted to get into it for so long, and I have enjoyed my time in this. I enjoy it. But yeah,
you can tell all 3 of you are enjoying this. I mean, it really is, you know, that is, it's sort of it's the flip side to the GM that wants to punish the human that's playing the character by making them feel badly. You really, there is a cohesiveness in your characters, just enough friction to make it interesting, and all of the fun, you know, sort of directions that you go, you know, and you can tell that you have an ease about the way you communicate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know each other. It is. It's really a joy. I mean, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the 3 of you and the way that you engage with each other. Let's talk about looking. Tempo asked a good question here, which is in line. Sort of, you know, we're almost done with an hour here. We could honestly, we could do 5 hours and have a blast.
Yes.
We really could.
Oh my God, really charity party.
We might.
It's like, real quick, it reminds me of that one time. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was in campaign 1 towards the end, I think, where we were like, okay, we're going to record this episode and be done. Nope, that lasted almost 5 hours. We were genuinely recording for about 5 hours, and it wasn't story stuff. 3 hours of it was me and Zoe just going off.
I love it.
It was great. But anyway.
Well, yeah. So, looking into the future, how do you envision things going? You know, moving forward. Like, what are some of the emotional points that people can anticipate in the coming episodes?
I think that's an alley. That's an alley question.
I was gonna say
we could also say what we want our characters to try to do.
I like that too. Yeah.
So we just recorded episode 2 of it. Literally, like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago now.
Yeah.
And so they're just like starting to like move around the world of Zanal, the country of Asterdale, the city of Arona. We're going real deep in. They're really starting to like get into the city, and they just got some money. They just got like some like ways to like talk to people. You have Solus that just came, was just like, oh my God, you guys are demigods, which I will say it's literally in the notes that she is a history major, and like she went to this college, which is like, and so like she understands anything that these guys are talking about, and she's like freaking out. But I think it's gonna be more of them navigating within like maybe the first arc, and then once second arc comes around, things are going to get a little bit twisty and turny. But I think this right now is a little bit sandboxy for them. I'm
kind of discovery,
yeah, because they don't know. It's literally, demigods going from up above to down below, never seeing this place before. Let's make it a sandbox. Let's let them do what they want to do. I got them to Solus. That was as far as I needed to go. Now let's just let them go off. And I'm a very sandboxy GM to begin with. If I have something planned and my players go, we want to go left instead of right, I'm just like, all right, what am I going to do? I know.
I like that. Right. Yeah. I like that a lot. Okay, and now, so Zoe and Kyle, for your characters, kind of where do you see, especially I'm interested in sort of the emotional sort of texture that you're going to bring, and, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's going to be hard to answer because, like earlier when I was talking about the thing with Robanthus that I can't mention yet.
Yeah.
That's one of Murphy's big things. So Murphy has to like try to figure out how they feel about the thing. How they're going to navigate it. And right now, right after they fell, Murphy is just figuring out what's going on right now. So they're like compartmentalizing, they're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And they shoved that whole big thing completely.
I'm assuming Kyle's actually going to have like an actual like emotional character arc within this within this campaign compared to the last campaign, because I'm giving him and his character the space to have that where they need it. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Well, also like Murphy had heard about mortality and like heard about the mortal world and had only heard a few stories. So now it's like they get to experience it, and they get to experience all the things that mortals experience.
Got you. Yeah.
As it was just wandering around, and now it's just like wandering around with purpose.
Very interesting. That's a tall order for something to kind of unpack, and mortality, sort of is very messy. I love the concept. I love listening to what you're doing. Allie, you run a fantastic podcast. Really, really enjoy it. And I always love when you hang out with us here on the Green Ronin main stage. It is a blast.
We love being here, which is why we're going to Gen Con with you. Sniff Gen Con!
Just going to say, we're going to be all hanging out at Gen Con, which I'm very much excited for. And, but let's see. Tim says it feels almost being the only one present in chat to be the only one asking questions.
You're fine, Tim.
You're absolutely fine.
And come back in the comments and look at all the comments and then answer any questions there if I remember.
That's right.
If I remember is a big thing.
But, it's the thought that counts, is what I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, listen. Excuse me, I'm choking up because the show is over. I have this vision for the future. I would think it would be a lot of fun, and I don't know what it looks like yet, but let me lay it out for you. Imagine that we bring some of our other streamer friends. We've got, we invite our Masks and Mayhem friends. We invite our friends, Merrick and his group that's doing the Expanse stream over with, Sky. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it. Sorry, Merrick.
Just have a chaotic little guy time.
I'm not sure what it is, but I want to do some kind of a streaming event where we're all together. I'll even jump on camera. We'll just do something. Maybe it's a big one shot, or it's I don't know. But think on it, and I'd love to see kind of what that might mean. Maybe it's a game of some kind. Maybe we do a game show of some kind. I don't know.
I finally do my murder mystery.
Maybe we do a murder mystery. I like it.
I've been begging for this.
Or hear me out. We all do digital Monopoly and want to kill each other at the end.
Yes.
Digital Monopoly.
Oh my gosh, Monopoly's the worst.
I refuse to play it.
Monopoly for charity.
So my understanding is
Mario
that you are.
Tournament.
Hey, that'd be fun too. Or maybe we get together. Like one of the things that I've been wanting to do too is just to have some fun and bring some folks together. Maybe we do like a a live stream of a Jackbox marathon or something. Or
Oh, I would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love
because
Jackbox.
I love what you do in the streaming department. I love the support that you give Green Running Products, but I just love you too, all three of you. I love you. I love hanging out with you. We have a lot of fun, and I always feel like we could do this some more. And I think that's the best way. You don't ever want to get to a situation where you're like, "Good, it's 5 minutes in, and I got to do this for a whole hour."
What's another hour, Troy? Who's ever
Right.
after
Yeah.
Just
Just remember,
Turn
everybody, we're
back a
saying
little
this
bit.
now. Just remember, we're saying this now, and we love everybody. We're gonna kill each other at Gen Con.
I think that we will do just fine. I think it'll be just fine. I think what'll be most alarming is that you won't be used to how tall I actually am. I'm very, very
Oh.
tall.
Listen,
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for how short Allie and Kyle were.
Hey.
Listen, it was not my fault. I was like,
We're the same height.
it's because,
Yeah, yeah.
well, Kyle, it's because you look super tall.
Mm-mm. I don't
Yeah.
think
Give
I
off
look tall at
tall boy
all.
energy.
Look, even Allie is like about to spit out her drink.
You give off tall boy energy to me, my man.
You ask literally anybody else that knows me, and that's a lie.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", and all
Ooh.
6 of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very.
No.
No. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I can't
get
wait. I can't wait to
taller.
meet you and just be like, "Hi, Troy."
But I'm also 6 feet wide, so I'm kind of a cube-ish person. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
You're a gelatinous cube.
I am. Yes.
We definitely give tall energy, but that's because we're short and have ADHD.
I like that.
I mean, I'm average height, so it's like I just give off
Right.
like
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I am rocking at an extraordinarily loud 5 foot tall.
It's amazing.
I love it. Well, all three of you come off as a good 7 feet tall.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
I'm gonna be riding that high all day.
But
my
honestly,
ego and confidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
if we were measuring value by height, and honestly, I've met a lot of really bad people who are very tall. So you know what I mean. They're not, it's not
Fair
all it's
enough.
cracked up to be. Yeah. But to end things, tell me where will we find you? Where should they be following? What should they be checking for? What are you on Twitter? That kind of stuff.
We are on Twitter at dice_drop. If you absolutely hate Twitter, which is totally valid, you can follow us on Threads at Dice Drop Pod.
Oh, yeah, there's
or
Threads.
on Instagram at Dice Drop Pod. You can also go to YouTube and do dice_drop, and all of our stuff is there.
It sure is. Yeah.
You can DM us. Will we answer? I don't know. That depends on other.
You
I
can
probably
come
will.
to our Discord.
I probably will answer you.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
bored a lot of the time.
if you use our link tree, you can go to our Discord where we're sometimes at. We're trying to make it poppin' again.
We're a
It's
little
Yeah.
I would say we're more active on our Discord
Yeah.
I have
than we are on
1,000 Discord servers. I don't know.
You don't
even
wanna
lying. I'm not even lying.
honestly, Troy, if you came in the moment you came in, I'd be like, "Mod, have fun."
No, I need no more responsibilities.
Our
But
mod doesn't do any responsibilities. Let's make that very
I
clear.
like that. I do. Yes, I like the power, but none of the work. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give
that's-
you
That's why
the
I think
title
that's the mod.
and the prestige with the title.
I love it. I love it.
Honestly, the only reason why I want to be a mod, so anytime I come into the chat on YouTube, I'm just like, I'm special.
Yeah, and that's why I want to give it to you, because you are special. Speaking of which, hey friends, do me a favor, make sure that you are liking, subscribing, share the stream with a friend, and say, look at these awesome people doing good things and having fun. That's what I love to talk about, and the three of you always deliver. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone in chat for your questions and comments. And we've got other things coming in the future, maybe a game show, I don't know, but we've got lots of fun to come. Hey, don't forget, on Mondays we do Mutants and Masterminds Monday, and it is my favorite episode of the quarter. Yeah, of the quarter, we'll say, because it's the planning episode where everyone gets together and we get to talk about what we're doing for the next 3 months for every
Nice.
episode. And it's a blast. And then Thursday comes up. Thursday's 2 p.m. Pacific. Also Monday, 2 p.m. Pacific. And we do it in the same space. We just kind of switch out the skin suits and then, hose the place off and make it pretty. So do me a favor, stop by and make sure that let's say you've got an idea, a question, are you doing a live stream with the Green Ronin product? Send a note to let's play at greenronin.com and let's play. All right, friends. Thank you again. We're out of here. Bye-bye. Bye. I want to record that and use it all the time.